Okay, so our installation is finished, and I'm just clicking next through these windows. Um, you can go ahead and learn about Anaconda Cloud if you want. This will just open up some links for you to read up about. Not super important. What I want us to look at is to make sure that everything has installed correctly. So we're going to go to our search bar now that that installation is finished, and we're going to type in Anaconda. So I start typing in Anaconda in my search bar, and you're going to see it's highlighting Anaconda prompt. There are some other options we have down here under the apps. So a simple one to go to is Navigator, which shows us a brief overview of the different Anaconda packages we can work with. And then the other one, if you noticed, was spyder, which is where we'll go to actually start writing some code. So let's go ahead and get our Navigator open. This page is going to ask us if we want to just send data to them so that they can make sure that if there's any bugs or anything, they can fix it using our hardware information. I'm going to say OK and don't show again. I'm fine with them using my computer's information in order to help them fix bugs for this program. Okay, so here in the Anaconda Navigator, we see some options for different things we can open up. Now you'll notice we have Jupyter Notebooks installed, Jupyter Lab installed, and spyder installed, and then we can install these extra things if we want. Now, let's just work with spyder, so we can go ahead and hit launch here. And what this is going to open up the spyder IDE. Okay, so now this IDE, what it does is it allows us to write code in a way that we can interact with it and see what outputs are going to be associated with it. And in general, just do a better job more quickly learning how code actually works. So to start with, actually, let me cancel that. So to start with, what we're going to do is it's going to open with this temp.py file. We're going to make a new file by clicking up here in this upper left corner. This is going to be untitled1.py, and I'm just going to go ahead and save this file. Now, in my case, I'm going to save it into Documents, and I'm just going to make a new folder called School Work, or even, yeah, Schoolwork. Now, you'll notice I'm not putting spaces in my folder. Spaces can kind of cause some issues when you're working with Python. So I'm going to do Schoolwork, and then in Schoolwork, I'm going to say testfile.py, and save that here. Now we have testfile.py, and we can do anything we want in here. It's telling who the author is and the date it was created. You can delete this if you want. But to make sure that Python is fully installed, what we can do is we can say, and you'll notice because I deleted that, there's a star up here. It means it's just not a saved version. If I save it, that star goes away. What we can do in here is we can just do some very basic code. So like the most classic thing people do is they'll do print and then hello world. Now this is actually kind of small, so I'm going to zoom in for you guys. Okay, so right now we're saying print hello world. And I can run this by going up here and hitting this little blue arrow, or sorry, green arrow, run file, or you see in parentheses it says F5. So I could also hit the F5 key. I'm going to hit that, and it's going to ask me, how do you want to run this file? I'm going to say execute in the current console, and then I'm going to go to general settings. Let's see, remove all variables before execution. I think we can keep these as they are, and then the directory of the file being executed. So this is our files directory. So currently it's set to student, but you'll notice this file here, test file, is in users, student, documents, schoolwork, test file. So it's going to change where it runs the file from if I hit F5 to where this full file is actually saved instead of the default area it starts with. So this looks good to me, so I'll hit run. And now you'll look, it printed out hello world, so it looks like things are working for us. I can also print out hello, get fancy here, and add the word world to it. So it should print out the first version and then the second version. So we're going to hit that run arrow, and we get both hello worlds. So it looks good. Now, spyder is convenient because it allows us to interact with our code in a pretty cool way. Now you're going to start leaning on this more heavily when we actually start writing like some heavier code. But just very quickly, I can show you. Let's say I want to save my name. My name is equal to Kai. And let's say that's my first name. And then my last name is unknown. So if I run the file now, you'll notice I no longer have those print statements. Instead, what it's going to do is it's going to say, I've saved a variable with the like a variable named first name, and in that variable is the string, that's some vocabulary we'll be learning later, kai. And similarly, I've saved a variable last name with the string unknown. So we can interact with spyder in a lot of different ways. Now, we'll use this to write a lot of code later on, but the thing I want you to do here in spyder to get things set up so we don't have to worry about it in the future is go to Tools, go to Preferences, and then in Editor, what we want to do is show blank spaces. We're going to click the check there, and we're going to go to Code Introspection, and we're going to check Real-Time Code Style Analysis, and then it says refer to PEP8. So these two boxes we just clicked, this one will explicitly show what a blank space looks like. This one will show whether our code has an appropriate style, so to make sure we're writing pretty code. And then one of the other things we want to do is when we indent, we want to make sure that our indents are set to 4 spaces. Okay, so now if I hit indent, it explicitly shows that there's 4 spaces here. And then you'll notice that's not a period. Those are a little bit higher. Let me zoom in for you. So this is a space, and then I can type in hello, and that's a period. And you'll notice it's darker and a little lower. Okay, so those are just the basic settings we want to set up for spyder for now. I'm going to be sending out homework worksheets, and those you'll load those up into spyder. So if this wasn't there, we can hit open with that folder, and then where you've downloaded that worksheet, you can click on it and hit open, and that'll pull up the worksheets we'll be working on in the future. Alrighty, so the next video, I'll quickly show you guys how to get Git on your computer, and then we'll pull the first homework.